How's it going there? This is Gongzhe at CGTN, and we are near the Wenchang Satellite Launch Center and reporting this Long March 5 rocket for you. And as you know, that we have collected some questions from the internet, social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and so on, and to see what kind of questions you want to ask, what kind of thing you want to know about China's space ambition or this specific mission. So as we collected a lot of questions, and we have tried to raise those questions to the local authority, to the administration of the space agency, and to the base people working in the base. So they have actually told us some secret things. Maybe some of the things is first time that I disclose here. So stay with us, bear with us to hear more about China's space program. Now, let me first introduce you what is happening around me. So actually, I am standing in a radar station that some people working here are providing weather information, whether it's going to rain, whether it's going to be sunshine. So this place is for the base people to determine whether they have the right time to launch a rocket. And now. And in this space, you can see that we are at the seaside, and the view is very good. And look at that direction, you will see that there are some buildings across this bay, at that side of this bay. So there are some buildings, and one of those buildings is actually this launch pad for this time's mission, for the Long March 5 Y2 mission. And it is the two buildings on the left side, and it's the right one. The one on the right side. The rocket itself is actually right now sitting still inside that place. And now you can see that the seaside view is very good. I actually envy those people working in the base because this feels so good that the wind is blowing all the time. This seaside wind makes you feel very refreshed. And now but the weather here is not completely 100% good because this is a tropical area. I'm not actually on South China's Hainan Island, Wenchang City. This island is near the land edge of China because the edge of the mainland, south part of the mainland, the edge is Guangdong province, and it is even to the south of the mainland. So Hainan Island is in the tropical area, and the weather feels very hot in this place. Since we came here, it constantly stays. The temperature constantly stays at about 33 to 34 degrees Celsius. So it feels kind of hot, and the air here feels very humid. I am a northern people from northern China, so I don't feel very good at this in this kind of weather. But I think if you work here like those rocket engineers for years in this place, maybe you have adapted yourself to this weather. So another thing I want to introduce you about this base is that this base have been done a lot of important missions, like the Tianzhou-1. If you remember that actually in April I was in this base too, reporting the Tianzhou-1 missions for you. So even with a foreigner, at that time they allowed foreign people to come inside of that base and to do some reports telling you from the foreign angle. And the first ever Long March 5 is also launched from this place. The maiden flight of Long March 5 is from last year, and it was a great success. Long March 5 is a great rocket, because this is the only launch pad known in China to launch this rocket. And Long March 5 is actually China's heaviest rocket currently available to do space missions. And it is heavier than you may have known that India has recently successfully launched their heavy rocket Mark 3. And that is a great success too. And now China has an even heavier, even bigger Long March 5. It can carry even more payloads because according to what I know from the Indian Space Agency, the Indian rocket can carry about 8 tons of payloads. It is 8,000 kilograms of payloads, like the weight of an elephant into the space, into the Earth's orbit. But Long March 5 have much more capacity. The maximum capacity of a Long March 5 is actually an astonishing number of 24 tons. It is 3 times heavier than the Indian rocket. So maybe Indian people have a lot of things to catch up with. And for Long March 5, the second thing for Long March 5 is that last year's success is with a little bit glitches, because like when the base said fire, and the fire it was a minute later that the rocket was actually lit. So this time, to fix those problems, they created the Long March 5 Y2. So Y2 means they have modified the original rocket to make it function even better. And now that rocket, Long March 5 Y2, is residing across the bay inside its own launch pad, ready to be launched. And the launch pad have 3 arms that is holding this rocket in its arms. There are actually 3 pair of those mechanic arms, of course, those metal arms. And now one of those arms have already opened, so we can expect this rocket to be launched in just hours. So bear with us. We at CGTN will cover the full launch, every part of it, and we even asked the people working in the base, the scientists, to show us what kind of image they look at, because the scientists have installed some cameras onto the rocket, on the rocket itself. So when the rocket was launched, you can see this world from the rocket's angle. So that could be very great, and we will have that footage to show you lively. So I bet you want to stay with us for more coverage of this space launch mission. And for more about this, for the questions we actually collected from the internet audience, now we will try to answer some of them. The first one is from Twitter, and a guy named Hydrogen Face. Hope it is a guy. And he said, approximately how large payload can Long March 5 fly with? Actually, we have already explained it. It can carry 24 tons of payload to our Earth's low Earth orbit. But if the rocket would want to carry something higher into the geosynchronous orbit, it only can carry about 15 tons, I think. And for the second question is from Facebook. A Facebook dude asked, what's the total cost spent on this project? I think he means how much money China put to make this mission happen. Unfortunately, we tried to ask the engineers in the base, but they cannot give us an exact figure on this problem, on this question. What I can tell you is that to create the first Long March 5 rocket, China built an industrial garden to let every company's people get together and make the Long March 5 happen. That industrial garden costed millions, hundreds of millions of US dollars to build. And for this mission, China has a lot. The second figure I can tell you is that China has a lot of commercial space launch programs, and they can actually launch things with a very low price, with a relatively low price, of course. It's like if you want to send 1 kilogram of payload into space, you will have to, if you do it with China, you have to pay for like 10,000 US dollars. But if you want more and heavier payloads, you may have to pay more accordingly. So China is actually trying to make their space program commercialized, and it welcomes foreign countries, foreign people to send their things into space with the help of China. And for another question is that what is the main use of this special satellite? Okay, we have never mentioned the satellite yet. Inside that rocket, inside the Long March 5 Y2 rocket, inside the head of it, actually, there is a satellite for scientific research. It is called 实践18, and 实践 in Chinese means practice, just like practices makes perfect. So practice is what Chinese people do when they explore the scientific world. So the 实践18, this satellite is totally used for scientific researches. What kind of scientific researches, you may ask? I try to categorize those researches in two categories, because there are 18 experiments that the satellite will perform, and they can be classified into two categories. The first one is the space communication, the telecommunication, because you may have heard that China recently made a great breakthrough in the quantum telecommunication. It means that to transfer information remotely with quantum. That is very great. Because quantum communication cannot be intercepted and cannot be decoded, so it can be great to. So it is secured. Currently there, according to my scientific knowledge, I have no way. I have no way to figure out how to crack a code transferred by the quantum satellite. So quantum satellite research is also part of the Shijian 18's job. Along with it, there are other jobs like laser communication and even the internet, even something that related to everyday people uses, the internet. Like if you have ever tried the 4G mobile phone network, it is lightning fast, isn't it? You can download a video, not only a GIF, a video in like 1 or 2 seconds. That feels really great when you surf the internet or just log into Instagram to check out their friends' recent activities. But China is trying to make the communication from the Earth to the orbit even faster. It's like there is technology called 5G. It is the next generation, and we have never experienced yet. But China, but this time on the Shijian 18 satellite, they're actually trying to communicate at a speed that 1,000 times faster than the 4G technology that's not even available to us yet. So you just imagine how fast it is. Maybe it can transfer a whole encyclopedia from the Earth to the satellite within 1 second. That sounds really marvelous. And for other scientific researchers, I can't really explain it because I'm only a tech reporter. I'm not a scientist. So I can only tell you that those things are also internet related. And China is trying a lot to make their technologies advanced. Like, do you know the space telescope? Because recently, the hacker group Anonymous said that NASA is going to announce something. They said, but finally NASA denied it. Anonymous said NASA have found aliens, but well, that might be true, maybe not. Maybe humans actually closing up to finding aliens. To find those aliens, we need telescopes to look at deep into the space. And inside the Shijian 18 satellites, there is an experiment that China is trying to enhance China's own space telescope to look deeper into the space. So China also wants to find aliens because that is interesting to everyone in the world. So let's look at the next question. Someone on Facebook also asked if this rocket is manned or if the Shijian 18 satellite is manned. Well, unfortunately, I have to let you down because this mission is not a manned mission. This time there will be no one going into the space. And it is not a manned mission, but we at CGTN are very keen about the manned mission. So if there's manned mission happening in China, we will definitely report it to you. You have my promise. And the next question is about, this is an interesting question, whether this rocket can be used for warfare. That sounds very cool, but Long March 5 have never been put into military uses because Long March 5 currently is developed for scientific research only. The first Long March 5 is to test if this technology is okay to use. And this is the second one. The second one is sending scientific research satellites into the orbit. So you can see that everything happening around Long March 5 are sciences. That is everything we know about the Long March 5. And the Long March 5 actually have a Y3 module currently developing. China is building the third Long March rocket model. That one is maybe according to what we know at CGTN, that Long March 5 Y3 rocket will be used in the Moon mission. China is trying to, maybe later this year, to collect some samples from the Moon and bring it to the Earth. And so the sampling machine that go into the moon will be sent by a Long March 5 rocket, but that is the third one, Long March 5 Y3. So let's look at another question. This question is posted more recently, maybe yesterday. So, so what benefit can China's space technology bring to the world? Well, China's technology is trying to help Chinese people. That is reasonable. But will China put its technology to benefit the rest of the world? Like the country around China or the country along the One Belt One Road? Well, I don't have the exact answer for you, but what I can tell you is China wants to cooperate with different countries to make more scientific development, to make more things that can benefit all human beings. You may have heard that China is planning to launch a space center like the ISS, the Internet Space Center, onto their orbit by like about 2020 or 2025. So that space center will be open to the whole world, not only to big countries, great economies, but to everyone, to the whole world. Everyone that have a job to do will have a chance to get into the Chinese Space Center to do experiments, to have their chance to have great findings. And China is an open country. Maybe that's news to you, that China is an open up country. China's open up policy have been there for decades. And I think it is okay for you to assure yourself that China will put all its technologies available to benefit all the people, not only in China, but all around the world. Speaking about One Belt, One Road, that initiative actually is something that will benefit foreign people, because China is putting a lot of efforts to build basic infrastructures for the foreign countries. China have created the AIIB, the bank, to invest into foreign countries to build infrastructures or like railroads or telecommunication stations or just to bring internet connections, faster internet connections to every people around the world, especially along the One Belt, One Road. Those countries. And now let's look at another question. So, what is the rocket's speed? Well, maybe that is an amateur question, because the speed of the rocket is not. Well, rocket launch is not a space race. It's not racing on the road. It's not a car race on the road. Every time a rocket was launched, there is a designed speed, designated speed. It may not be really fast, but it is fast enough to get the job done. And if it is traveling too fast, it may waste energy. So that to keep the energy, to keep every fuel that was burned effective, you have to design a correct speed. You have to calculate a correct speed to send the rocket up. So rocket advancements doesn't mean that there will be faster rocket. Doesn't only mean that there will be faster rocket. The only thing that rocket scientists concerns is that whether this rocket can travel to far places. That is the most important thing, right? If a rocket can travel to Mars, that is great. If it can travel to the sun, it is better, right? So how far it can reach, that is the important question. Well, currently Long March 5 is trying, Chinese scientists and engineers are trying to build Long March 5 that can reach to the moon. So that is currently what I can provide you. And next question, let's see that. Is Long March 5 equivalent to other heavy rockets around the world? Well, just now we have compared Long March 5 to the latest Indian heavy rocket. Of course, it is a little bit better than so statistically from the numbers, Long March 5 is better than India's latest heavy rocket. But Indian is also trying to do great things in space. So I think they're actually developing something better. So China is actually also advancing the technologies. This is not a race. This is not like an arm race. So we all hope that there will be better technologies that saves money, saves energy, and can send people and send things to further places. So I think it's not something that, so comparing is not the aim, is not the destination that we're reaching. Which country is better is not even related to this problem. I think the most important point is how far human race can reach. That is more important thing that to us, I think. And next question, so how long is this rocket? Oh, sorry, I have checked this number, but I really can't remember it. Maybe you can log into cgtn.com to check it for sure. We have posted all these detailed statistics about this rocket on our website, on our Facebook page, on our Twitter, on our things everywhere have our access points. Just type CGTN or CGTN official in those websites. You will see those things in front of your face. So as I remember, it is more than 50 meters high, but the exact number I have forgot. Sorry, you have to check our website to make it sure. And the next question, how China make heavy lift? Well, I don't really understand this question. How China make heavy lift? Are you asking how did China make Long March 5? Well, as I said, that China put a lot of money to build an industrial garden and collected all kinds of great Chinese engineers and scientists together in that garden to develop the Long March 5. That is years ago. But now Long March 5 has been tested, the technology has been tested last year, and now it is put into use this year. So I think that is a great technology and is going to move forward. Now, and another question, is it heavier than the biggest Indian satellite? I'm not sure. I don't know how heavy the heaviest Indian satellite is, but Long March 5 can send 24 tons of payloads to the space. That is a great number because that is 3 elephants, actually the weight of 3 elephants. Just think of it. That's how massive that thing is. And the Shijian-18 satellite, this time the rocket is standing, the Shijian-18 rocket is actually 7 tons, weighs 7 tons, I think, a little bit more than 7 tons. So it is about the weight of an elephant. Because there were 18 kinds of experiments happening in that satellite, so it is heavy, that is for sure. And that is all the questions that I have for now. Oh, there's someone saying that, asking about the last time China failed to blast off a rocket. Well, you may have been informed that last month China, there's some little problem with one of Chinese rocket, that it failed to deliver a Chinese satellite into its orbit. Yeah, there's some glitches happened. Yeah, last month. We have been informed that there are some problem with the 3rd stage of that rocket, and the rocket failed to send the satellite into the correct orbit. So it means that this satellite is a TV satellite. That satellite is already in the Earth's orbit. It's just not in the right one. So the engineers are currently working hard to move this satellite into the right orbit. So it may take some time to get it done, but it will be done according to what I know. And this glitch happened, this will not be a big problem, although it will damage the satellite because this designated life expectancy of this satellite, the life of this TV satellite was designed to be 13 to 15 years. But with this movement, moving it to the correct orbit, will cost a lot of years. So now the satellite is expected by some Chinese media to be functioned only for 5 years. But that is 5 years. 5 years is long enough for China to build another same satellite and put it into space. So I think the TV in China will not be affected by that glitch. And China, it has been 16 years since China made a mistake in its space program. It's not like SpaceX. Their accident happened last year. You may have seen the image that the Falcon 9 blasted into pieces. But Falcon 9 is doing fine now because that is actually another great technology. You send a rocket into space and recover it. The rocket itself comes back to Earth. That is the most amazing things to me in recent years, I think. And do you know China is actually building their own recoverable or reusable rocket, and it's not developed by the Chinese Space Agency. It is actually being developed by a Chinese company. Yeah, there is also some private companies working on space tech in China, just like the SpaceX. So there are a lot of amazing things happening in China. There's a lot of amazing things happening to space. So the Chinese space program will continue to move on, and and now we're all focusing our eyes on the rocket, the Long March 5 Y2 rocket, and expecting its launch. So maybe I think that all the questions I see have been answered. So maybe it's time to say goodbye for now. And the CGTN is still covering. Is right now, after my live, is still covering this launch. So bear with CGTN, and if you have the possibility, you can look at our channels and look at our TV channel. Not only on the TV, you can also log into cgtn.com to see our program live. So and on the social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and China's microblog Weibo, and most importantly, our CGTN app. We're waiting for you on all our platforms to report you, to tell you things related to China's space program. And the Long March 5's launch will happen just in hours. So just stay with us, refresh the page and check out once and once again to make sure you don't miss the launch, the big moment. Okay, that is everything I have for you now. Goodbye.